Well, in this part of the country, this is the big rivalry. Victoria versus South Australia in the 2022 Gillies Shield. They're back at it after 2.5 years off. Victoria 1-0, South Australia 1-1. We are almost ready for play. Eric Ballnar joined by Andrew Scott. Soon Mel McGee and James Harris will be here. But Scotty, the legend of the game here, a legend of baseball, softball coach locally. You're going to join us for the pregame show. What's up, Scotty?
This is great. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Yeah, you're on the other side of it now. We're used to calling your action, what's going on.
Yeah.
But you had a big role today is getting the grounds ready.
Oh, yeah, there was about 10, 15 of us out there running around in ankle-deep mud this morning and turning it from a pigsty to a softball field. So, yeah, it's been a fun day.
So what happened? Like, you showed up at the field at what time? Give us an example of what that might be from a grounds crew perspective for an event like this.
Okay, so first game was supposed to be scheduled for 11 o'clock, so I rolled in about 9:30 and had a look around and thought, oh, we ain't playing 11 o'clock. So there's other guys here before that as well. So some have been here since 6:37 to get it ready. So it was just a matter of seeing which field, the main field, this one here, or the backfield was going to be the best one to get ready the quickest. And it was just hammer and tongs, moving dirt around, drying stuff out and bringing new dirt in and get at least the games underway somewhere. So, and then it was get all hands on deck over here to get this one up and running.
We're getting a look at Nicole Martin in the circle for Victoria. She pitched 3 scoreless innings in a 9-1 win just about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, Scotty, when I showed up to the field, it looked like there was an excavation site going on in center field, or in the kind of the center of the cutouts on this diamond. It wasn't much better, but slightly better on diamond 2. How many volunteers do you have to help you out, and who do you even ask to do that? Like, it seemed like a whole team effort just to get we're getting the full slate of games in today.
It was, yeah. It was all hands on deck. Whoever was available to get down here, they got down here, and you've got to thank them and take your hats off to them. But yeah, it was a quagmire, but we finally got there.
Well, we appreciate you giving us the update of the grounds crew. We're going to bring in James Harris into we're bringing it back in James Harris. Thanks for updating, Scotty. Thank you very much for getting the grounds rolling. The saviors of the day, the grounds crew from the start of the day. Andrew Scott helping lead the charge with a big team of people.
Huh?
They were very good. But now let's get to the big rivalry. As we said, it's Nicole Martin in the circle. She's pitching to Amber Hood, lead things off. Victoria, 9-1 leaders, as I'm now joined by James Harris in the broadcast booth. James, thanks for joining us.
It is an absolute pleasure. We've just raffled off the day 1 prize from Easton. Thanks very much to the team at Easton for that. And an under-12s player can, if you turn up to watch, you go into the draw for the Easton Daily Prize Pack. So very, very good prizes as well as a backpack and batting gloves. But we're here for the Gillies Shield. Geez, 2022 Gillies Shield in Adelaide. Stars versus Victoria, night 1, perfect conditions.
It's still, you don't usually get West Beach conditions like this. Normally it's very cold down here, makes it very difficult to play in, makes it very difficult to coach in. Amber Hood stepping in at the plate. She's ahead in the count 3-0. In the first game of this is called a strike. The first game of the day versus New South Wales, Amber Hood worked 2 vintage walks. If you watch the local competition on these broadcasts, you see Amber Hood do this all the time. Joined by our 3rd member of the commentary crew now, the legendary
Hall of Famer,
national team player Mel McGee. Mel, what's going on?
No, I just ran down from the VIP tent. I'm happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
Because you got the VIP status around
here. Yeah, apparently I do, yeah.
Well, Mel, thanks for joining us. We were just saying, the weather is weird here on West Beach. In the summer, it's cold, and it's warm and still right now.
I can't believe it. I've got 1,200 layers on. After this afternoon, I thought it was going to be freezing out here, so I might be peeling off layers in about 5 minutes.
Amber Hood fouls a couple away. It's a 3-2 count. In the local competition, for those watching interstate that might not do it, Amber Hood known for just getting on base, and that's what she does so well.
Yep, she hits the ball hard. She picks walks. She's one of the best leadoffs in our league down here.
And what a battle from Nicole Martin. She was behind 3-0, and she strikes Amber Hood out, and she doesn't strike out very often.
I think you did this in the last time you commentated, Mel.
I need to
you
stop.
Talked up the players, and she had a strikeout. No, but I had a cold weather joke. Matt Torpy actually lent me his Kathmandu jacket, but I just had to get rid of that. Here's a look at the Eastern replay on the outside edge for the first out.
Chelsea Robinson steps in, a player that went over to Tokyo with the Aussie spirit in that preparation for the Olympic campaign, and she was right there in the mix, a very versatile player. Batting 2 in the lineup, can drive the ball well. Nicole Martin is in the circle for Victoria. She made her debut at Open Nationals when she was just 17 years old. And she struck out Stacey Porter in that first Open women's tournament. Is that a good scalp to grab in your
That's
first?
not bad.
Hawaii alum, Mel, do you guys catch up for a coffee and a tea, the Hawaii University alumni?
I've caught up with Kelly Gentle today, just quickly.
Oh, we didn't mention her in the last game.
We did. We were listening up the Hawaii players.
Yeah, Kelly Gentle. I spoke to her briefly this morning. We had a chat. Have not seen the gun yet, but hopefully I'll catch up with her too. Maybe tomorrow after the game.
We saw her, didn't we, Eric?
We did, and she had a big impact in that first game. 3 hits, big double. Yeah, Claire Warwick at ACT got off to a nice start to this tournament. ACT, though, did lose their second game, so they're sitting 0-2 to start the tournament. They lost to Victoria, who won 9-1 in that last game.
Oh, wow.
9-1, a big win. Nicole Martin pitched in that game, 3 innings, allowed just the 1 walk. They pulled her when they needed to, being able to save her for this game versus South Australia.
Just ticked over 102 on that last pitch as well. 101 for this one. So she's in the triple digits early, even after that workload from the previous game.
Trying to get Chelsea fishing there, but Chelsea held off it.
Martin took a couple years off softball, and she's come back, and the report from the Victorian camp, as it's a 2-2 camp, is just way more mature in everything she does around the team, in the circle. Gives them a good weapon to give them a chance into some games.
You mentioned Amber Hood just before about being a great leadoff. There's actually 4 of the SA Premier League leadoffs in this team.
Yeah.
There's a 5th that just got named in the Aussie Under-18 team to go to Canada Cup. That'd be Jorgensen. Is that Andy Collett?
Andy Collett just got smoked by a ball on the right field.
That's her club teammate as well, Chelsea Robinson.
It's a head coach.
We've got Anthony Weatherston, who has been part of the commentary team. He's going to be giving us updates from Diamond 2, where Queensland are playing New South Wales. And Laura Coulter starting for Queensland down there.
Nice.
As it's a hit to right field. It's going to be a big race down there, and it is called out.
That was safe, but
That was brutal.
the first base umpire was watching for the catch. The third base umpire was moving into position, and the home plate umpire made the call. Let's have a look. That's actually a great call.
That is a great call, yeah. Naked eye, I thought she was in, but no.
A 9-3.
Great piece of the ball by Chelsea.
Catherine Lamel in right field getting it done. Belle White steps up to play.
They must have scouted Chelsea Robinson pretty well. Great,
just in.
Great camera angle from her team at Spacequake Sports, but they must have charted her pretty well. The right field was real close for Chelsea Robinson.
South Australia in this tournament, they are 1-1. They lost a heartbreaker 3-2 to New South Wales in their first game. In extra innings, great defense from New South Wales on that one. And then Jade Peterson allows 1 hit and 1 walk in 7 innings of work in a 2-1 victory over a very tricky Queensland team to put the Stars on the board. And that's where we're at now.
Yeah, Jado did a great job on the mound today. And Belinda White in the box hit a dinger in the first game against New South Wales.
Crushed one.
Off the
My
bat,
goodness.
It was gone off the bat.
People were on their feet in seconds.
That's not an easy diamond to hit them over on
No.
either, because you're hitting straight into that sea breeze.
Absolutely.
And then Belle White scored in the next game. Maddie Cameron drove her in. She'll ground over towards the pitcher. And Nicole Martin.
Nice defense.
Nikki Martin, a 1-2-3 start for Victoria. And we're going to take a very quick break, and then we'll get you the rest of this action. You're watching the 2022 Gillies Shield. Back at the action here, and Yo Grauer into the circle for her second start of the day. She pitched 8 innings of wonderful softball versus New South Wales. You got a chance to see Yo pitch earlier. What'd you like about Yo, Mel McGee?
I did get to see her pitch. She held New South Wales pretty well. They made some adjustments late in the game and put her into play a couple of times, and yeah, that was the ball game, unfortunately. Well, it went to tiebreaker as well, didn't it? But yeah, she's a machine, power of Grauer, as Lee Hull likes to say. But UCLA alum, yeah, dominating out there, and I expect to see the same in this game.
She is from America, but she's basically a local now, lives in the Riverland in South Australia, just helped guide Port Adelaide Softball Club to their first ever premiership. Got them to their first ever grand final, yeah. And then got them their first ever premiership, and she's made a big impact just in softball locally. You know what? She's won a Cathcart medal as well. I mean, that's not a big deal if you haven't won 5 or 6. What, 5, Mel? 6? 4. 4. All right. It's still the record. 4 Cathcarts. For our co-commentator, Mel McGee, but Cathcart medalist and what, runner-up or second runner-up this year as well. So yeah. She's just a powerful performer. There it is, Power Growl. Caitlin Laird up to bat, 20 years old, with the Cheetahs in the Northern District Softball Association. One of many debutantes for Victoria in this tournament. Had a hit, scored twice in their win against ACT. I was just looking at the stats for that game. The pitching for Victoria combined for just 2 hits. One of them went to the gun. Of course it did. So the gun's got 4 hits and 3 RBIs. Yeah. Is that good? It's all right for day 1. Expect bigger things tomorrow, except against South Australia. She's just easing herself into it, right? Yeah. But Caitlin Laird was with that team that went to Mankato with the Aussie Diamonds. Pushed herself into this team by all reports. Nice swing. I think you're saying that wrong as well. It's Mankato. You got to say it with an Australian accent. Mankato. Mankato. You got to say it with an Australian accent. What do you mean? I have more of a Minnesota accent than all of you, and Mankato. Oh yeah. Grauer battling away 2-2. Very competitive at bat from Caitlin Laird. Two games in one day. That's tough stuff pitching, isn't it? Yeah, this draw it's a hard and fast draw, and you're gonna get smashed every day if you're the team's ace. But you do need to rely upon your second, third strings, which SA did in their previous game against Queensland. 40-plus years of age, Jade Peterson threw a 1-hitter against Queensland. Look, I'll go out and I'll say it. That could be one of the best games she's ever pitched in her life for a 1-hitter. Yeah, I went home and told Marnie about that tonight, and we're both very impressed with Jade's performance today. Hope she pulls up all right tomorrow. 40-plus, Mel, could be a comeback for you, maybe? No, not for me, not no. For you, all right. No. Marnie, maybe. Maybe. Jade Peterson was impressive this afternoon. Yo Grauer, very impressive too, versus New South Wales. Locally, just has elevated her game as the season's gone along. This bat by Caitlin's very impressive too. Yeah, she's making Yo throw it a bit. It's great. Gone full. Just on the 2 and 3 for South Australia. Millie Fidge was named but changed at the plate, so looks like she's first relief. Well, a great battle that's ultimately won by Grauer, but Caitlin Laird has just made somebody that's already pitched 8 innings today have to work probably harder than she'd like. Yep, absolutely. That sets up some, a good at bat for her next teammate, who is Carly Kari Pritchard,
Kari.
she's 17 years old.
Wow.
Just finished the under-18 national tournament. She had a hit in every game that she played in, at least.
Is she backing up for 23s as well? Probably.
Good question. I'm not so sure, but Mark Rigg, the head coach of this team, just loves Kari Pritchard. He says he's coached her since she was 8, just a player that he expected to hit at the top of the lineup and produce as a 17-year-old, and she's already got a hit in the first game.
Grauer just dropped that one about 14 Ks off her fast pitch, down to 88 Ks, but it's not her slowest changeup. She's got that second changeup that drops to about 60 Ks.
Pritchard just misses that one.
Powers it back up to 101.
When Grauer's on, batters struggle to stay balanced.
Yeah, she's proven a handful over 3 seasons in the SA Premier League.
Great pitch.
Well, back-to-back strikeouts to start the game for the UCLA alum, and that is exactly how she would have dreamt up this start right now.
Both Victorian hitters have looked really good in the box, though. Caitlin and Kari taking some good cuts.
Yeah, that's at the edge as well. On the Eastern replay.
Good cut.
Bree Trim comes to the plate. Originally from New South Wales.
Yeah, she's a good get for the Titans and has been a pretty good player for them since joining them a couple of years back.
Takes a pitch and now finding some corners, Joe Grauer. This top of the lineup for Victoria was really productive in the first game.
Yeah, 4 hits from the top 2 batters. Good shot.
And they're going to get one here. It's going to be a race for it down the diamond. Gemma Letton in right field tried to make the play, but it's Bree Trim getting aboard with a single. So with 2 outs, Victoria have the first base runner of the ballgame.
So make it 3 hits from the top 3 batters in their win against ACT. And Bree Trim's hit scored 2 RBIs.
Kylie Steamers, one of the leaders of this group, had a couple hits in that game. She's up to bat now. Just a bit of a presence about her, Kylie Steamers, in the batter's box. Defense from left to right on the infield. Lana Kaesler at third, Chelsea Robinson at short, Amber Hood at second, Pippa Adkins at first with Belle White, the Olympian, catching. Sarah Tonkin in left, Maddie Cameron in center, and Gemma Letton getting the start in right field. Grauer, we know, is pitching.
These Victorian hitters are not intimidated by Yo, that's for sure. Getting after some good pitches. Bree drove that ball to right field nicely. Didn't try to overswing, just took her hands to the ball. Nice belt.
Trim's just getting up a little gingerly here. Let's have a look at it from the reverse angle on the Eastern replay.
How's
pretty
the
quick
throw?
off the knee, yeah. Well, those that watch our Premier League live stream would know that we rave about her arm, whether it's at shortstop or from behind the plate. It's in elite territory. She just can power that ball.
Fouled away, and Mel, you're absolutely right. These Victorian batters are making it very difficult.
Yeah, they're making her throw a lot of pitches in their second game of the day. Certainly not intimidated.
Pre-tournament, Victoria felt pretty confident that they could put themselves in a position to do a little bit of damage here. They know that South Australia and New South Wales have been in the gold medal game the last 2 years. Queensland knocking on the door, but they fancy their chances to create something special. The word they used is everybody's kind of got a fresh start, and it's a great chance for Victoria to start their own story. South Australia is looking to end a story with a Gillies shield. That's where they're at in the journey right now.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect bookend as well, because they struggled for so many years at the bottom of the table, and they just built and built on that year after year for the last 5 or 6 years.
Big swing and a miss, so Grauer strikes out the side. It's interesting you say that, James. Talking to Victoria, they admire what South Australia has done and have kind of modeled the way they've gone about their business, trying to rejuvenate their state team program after seeing the success of South Australia. And how good has South Australia been at the last couple Gillies Shields before this break?
Yeah, they've been very competitive. Yeah, and I think that's also off the back of WA coming good. Like, they built up a program with KJ over there and won a couple of Gillies, was it? They won a couple, didn't they?
Yeah, a couple in a row.
Yeah.
Look, I've got to say how proud I am of the program in South Australia. There's been so many people involved, and it's hard to thank everyone, but you know, we do have a junior development program in the Dragons, and I can look down this list and I can see, you know, at least half a dozen players that are in our team that have been part of that program. We've got some great dedicated players that just keep coming back year after year as well, and it's a journey that they've all taken together. They're welcoming some new younger players as well into the mix. We see Taylor Chillingworth, Neve Adams, still under-18s players in this lineup and in this group, named in the Aussie under-18 team to go to Canada Cup. This is going to be a moving monster for South Australia now, and all we have to do is just get that win, get that one win, and we've been so close to the last couple of national championships, so I really can't wait to see where this team goes in the coming years. So, and if Victoria trying to emulate a similar program, they've got success ahead of them as well.
Maddie Cameron will lead things off. A couple small changes, just tinkering with the order in the lineup. Lana Kaesler has moved up to 5. Yo Grauer drops down to 6. Sarah Tonkin 7. If Grauer and Tonkin are hitting 6 and 7 in your lineup, how you feeling about that? Pretty strong, yeah.
Well, Gemma Lenton was a 500 hitter in the Premier League. Pippa Atkins was a junior worlds player just a couple of years ago. She's moved up to Queensland, plays locally there.
Ball up the middle. Cameron is going to go down, and it's a 1-2-3-4 start now for Nicole Martin on the mound.
Maddie's liking her first strikes today. She's gone after a few.
Pays off, though, as well. So she's got a couple of hits already today, and who can forget her 650 season that she had a couple of years back in the Premier League. And I said it before, she's the best player in the country that's not in the Aussie senior team at the moment. She's in the squad. Props where it's due, but can't wait to see her playing in the green and gold.
Lana Kaesler takes a pitch to the outside. This tournament seems to bring out the best in Lana Kaesler. Means a lot to her.
Yeah, of the returning players, we saw a great stat thanks to Anthony Weatherstone, who's bringing us some score updates from around the grounds Diamond 2 game tonight, New South Wales, Queensland, and that's thanks to MK Services SA. Anthony gave us the stat that of the returning players from last Nationals 2 years ago, she had the highest batting average, that she being Lana Kaesler.
Yeah, she had a very good last Nationals. So, oh, here we go.
And this is a hard shot to right field. It goes over Lamel's head, and Lana Kaesler is going to round second. She's making the push for 3, and she's going to get there early. They missed the cutoff throw, and Lana Kaesler is pumped up. The crowd behind her making some noise, and Kaesler's pounded herself into scoring position.
A triple puts the runner in scoring position for Grauer and Tonkin to bring her in. Local knowledge as well, that might have some dew out there on the grass. They have missed the cut. Kaesler stands up on 3rd.
Kaesler's pretty quick around the bases.
Yeah, when she gets that train going, she's hard to stop. That was a beautiful shot.
And just with 1 out for Yo Grauer.
This is another player that likes her first or early strikes in the count, Yo Grauer. Very low strikeout numbers in the Premier League. And that is because she sees one that she likes early and she'll rip into it. Left field's too shallow for Grauer.
It's Caitlin Laird in left field, Amelia Mercury in center field, and Catherine Lamel in right, and Lana Kaesler fired up. Some big reactions from the Stars team today, notably when Belle White hit that home run. She was loving it flying around the bases.
As she should.
And then a really nice celebration, everyone getting around Jade Peterson after she helped deliver South Australia a great win in game number 2.
Yeah, well, they refer to it as a Stars sisterhood, and it's definitely that, and it's definitely grown over the last decade or so with the core group of players. As James said,
and a hard hit ball to left field.
Go.
Yo Grauer is going to cash in a run. She'll stand on first. Lana Kaesler scores, and the Stars have a 1-0 lead in the second.
RBI single for Grauer. She's the pitcher, so we might see that 2-out pitcher speed-up rule come into play. Those that don't know, it's a new rule in the championship this year, so not only the catcher can have a courtesy run at left field, did a good job to keep that ball in front of her.
Great job.
Stars sisterhood, Mel. I've seen some of them here tonight. Jenny Dunn, Ada Caruana, Jordan Harris.
Core group, yep. Built this program up and sitting back tonight and enjoying the game, hopefully.
It was interesting to watch this team in the lanes before the game. Sometimes you go in the lanes and you watch teams and you can tell there's little groups within a team. Some people are working with others and you can just kind of get that sense. But with the Stars, you couldn't really pick apart anything going on because everybody mixing, interacting together, working with each other. It didn't matter if you were 17 or 33. It just sort of was together.
Or early 40s.
Or early 40s. Yeah. How was that today? We were saying Sandy Holden versus Jade Peterson combined 82 years old on the circle.
It was throwback. I almost put my uniform on. I was like, am I meant to be out here? Is this, what's going on?
Well, there's a few players on Queensland's team when Sandy Holden made her debut at Open Nationals weren't even born yet.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hard hit ball up the middle, trying to turn to Victoria. Throw won't be in time. Schaefer made the play originally, but they get the lead runner. But Tonkin will stand on first. South Australia grounded into 4 double plays versus New South Wales earlier. I feel bad saying grounded because they were spectacular double plays
there was
they made.
A chance of a double there as well. Schaefer was playing a couple of steps up the middle, so good place to be. Just trying to cover this runner. The infield plays have been absolutely outstanding. It's only day 1. I cannot wait to see. David, can we do a top 10? Spacequake Sports are known for their top 10 plays. Let's do a top 10 of the Gillies Shield.
We might need to do a top 10 of today. It was being ridiculous. Gemma Letton up to bat. And a player really broke out this year, Gemma Letton.
She did.
Sorry, I was just going to say we will be bringing all the Diamond 1 games live stream thanks to Spacequake Sports, NITV, SBS On Demand and Softball Australia. So helping out with the broadcast, all of those, or Softball Australia bringing us the finals. Let's put it that way. And thanks to everyone who is putting on a headset this week as well. So we'll hear from Lee Hull as well tomorrow, and happy to get Jade Jensen from New South Wales join us too. I tried to talk Joyce Esther into doing it. She said thanks for the offer, but she's got a job to do this week.
Swing and a miss. So Nicole Martin gets a strikeout, but a good combination of hitting the triple from Kaesler, the single from Grauer, and all of a sudden it is a 1-0 SA lead. James, we have Anthony Weatherston down at the back diamond. He's watching Queensland, New South Wales. Hey, you want rivalry night? SA Vic, Queensland, New South Wales. How you doing? Good night down here. What's happening?
No, it's not good news if you're a Queensland fan. For New South Wales, on the other hand, one of Anthony's messages said that it is still the first inning, Queensland yet to bat, and it was 4-0. So, yeah, rough start for the Queenslanders.
Well, the big one in there is Grace Rickson has hit a triple to right center, and she scored 2 RBIs. And this is one of the ones she's making her debut at the senior level, just 20 years old, drives 2 hours for trainings twice a week, back and forth from Newcastle. So making an impact right away. And she's also starting tonight.
Pitching.
Made a 12-pitch first innings. So Grace Rickson, we were wondering, talking to all the coaches before, the question was which players would break out and be known at a national level, and Grace Rickson has been really, really impressive so far for New South Wales. A lot of players that you would have seen in the last Gillies Shield, as Catherine Lemmel wasn't one of those, she's been around for a while, is up to bat, are not in this version of the Gillies Shield. Now, it's a little jarring because it's been 2.5 years. We've missed 2 Gillies Shields because of COVID in the meantime. So when you're missing 2.5 years, you're going to get some player drop-off regardless. Lemel off to the right side. She's aboard with a base hit. Or is she? She is.
Yeah, safe call
let's see
from
the
the
replay.
first base umpire. Got into the right position for the play to come from right field this time, but I'm not sure he's going to have much luck. But the SA coach, Benedictson's going to ask the question. And here's have a look at the Eastern replay.
Gemma Letton in right field. Safe.
Yeah, that's what our man David Mugwilton is saying. Pippa Atkins took a hit on the way through, trying to plead her case. 50 metres.
Pretty cool for Pippa to come back into this team, eh?
I love that. Yeah, she's committed to this team in this unit. And you talk of the Stars sisterhood. She probably had the opportunity to clear to Queensland, decided to stay, only permit to play in Queensland, and so she could remain part of this team.
Won the Rookie of the Year in the competition here and has had a big season too. Either way, it's going to be a leadoff base runner for the first time today. We said this phrase earlier. Right now with Yo Grauer, it is hit or miss. 3 strikeouts, 2 hits. Schaefer up to bat. This is her 3rd year playing in a Gillies Shield.
Yeah, at that point you were making, Eric, it's the same for all teams. So if it was different for all teams, you know, it would almost feel unfair that there's a bunch of new players for each team.
I think you can also look at it this way, is I don't know if it's as dramatic, but if you looked at the 2016 Gillies Shield rosters and then you looked at the 2019 Gillies Shield rosters, how much turnover would there have been between the teams?
There's always churn, doesn't matter what year it is.
It's just gradual.
Yeah.
This was not.
Just an insight into the research that our commentary team does. So it's not all turn up and call the action. There's plenty of research. I know, Mel, you're on the phone to some coaches. Eric, you're on the phone to some coaches. You and Anthony have been drilling down on the numbers. So it's absolutely hectic and hard work here under the mics.
And for Victoria, it's a chance at a few new beginnings. Trying to start a new story. A lot of debutantes and a lot of players that were young players like this woman, Rebecca Schaefer, who's got herself a hit. Schaefer and Lemel are aboard with back-to-back hits. That just found that soft spot in the defense, and now it's a good position for Victoria.
We saw a couple of those hits in the earlier game. What Chelsea Robinson did was probably the right thing for a shortstop to lay out for one, but she didn't realise that the all-star out at centre field, Maddie Cameron, who is as fast as a cat out there at centre field, was close behind, so glad they didn't connect. Two runners aboard for the Vics.
So many young players on this team. Emily Pataris is not one of the younger players. She's making a return to the game as you get a look at the Eastern replay. She was part of that dynasty for Victoria, 15, 20 years ago, and she's made a return back on this team. A level head for some of the young bucks on the team.
Love hearing that story of a returning player after a few years off. Pick-off attempt from White. Amber Hood taking the ball at 2. Yeah, because in softball, I think you're still at your best in your 30s. You know, there's a lot of people that retire too early for mine, and we saw Porter playing at a second or third Olympics last year, and a world record amount of international caps. But you know, she was still one of the outstanding performers. You know, some of these veterans, Jade Peterson and Sandra Holden earlier today, have still got it.
Yeah, it's like you age like fine wine with softball. You kind of, you see the game differently. You're a bit more mature. You're not as hard on yourself as when you're in your sort of teens and 20s. So, yeah, you definitely do get better with age.
And Mel, in a tournament like this, how important is that to not be too hard on yourself, knowing if you get in that negative mindset, you're in trouble for the week?
It's brutal. I'd often talk with the Stars girls when I was coaching them, and even when we played back in the day, we likened it to being in like the Big Brother house. It's like all cameras are on you. How are you performing? It's tough.
Ball slips away, so all of a sudden double play ball is taken away, and with no outs, Victoria with 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Gillies can be a real emotional roller coaster. You can be up one day and down the next, and yeah, but it's your teammates that pick you up and keep you going.
How about just during the day? It's a triple header.
Yeah, oh, this would, I don't think I'd survive this.
Yeah, Fast and Furious tournament, as we mentioned before, but this is what the Vics did against ACT. They just really applied the pressure and trying to put the scoreboard pressure on the defence as well. Caused a couple of mistakes for ACT, and they were able to capitalise. So the Vics playing a very similar game.
Now it's a full count to Pateras. That bottom half of the lineup making a nice impression right now.
It's a great at-bat.
And it loads the bases.
With none out.
With none out, and Kiara Rigg will be the batswoman.
Up till that walk from Pateras, it had been a strikeout or a hit. So Victoria swinging the bats tonight. Timeout being called with these loaded bases. Both teams have something to say, obviously. So it's coming down to some tactics, and it's early in the game.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with the Victorian lineup so far. They've had some real, even the strikeouts have been good strikeouts, if there's such a thing. They've been tough strikeouts. They've gotten down 1 run after Lana and Yo smashed the ball, and they've come out, bounced straight back out and smashed it themselves. So, yeah, no let up in this Victorian team. Bottom of their lineup getting the job done too. So let's see what happens.
22-year-old Kiara Rigg up to bat. Made the team 4 years ago, which by their own admission was maybe a bit too early, but still got that great experience of being around the program. And now after the time off Gillies for everybody, every team needs that catcher to build around, and they think that this is someone you can build around in Kiara Rigg, and that's who's been calling the game so far. And this is who has a chance to put some numbers on the board early. And she chases one away from Yo Grauer.
This will show what the Stars are made of here with a little bit of pressure on early in the game. Loaded bases, none out. You can already see that the infield has come in, or the pivots have come inside the line. They're trying to stop this run from scoring.
Swing and a miss. Well, 3 of the 4 games before this one have been very tight, just separated by those small margins. So it may be the second inning, but we're going to be circling this in 4 or 5 innings time. This is a very key moment.
Grauer's location's been great with loaded bases, just keeping it down and away.
Kiara shortened up here.
Foul ball.
It's off the nub of the bat at the end there.
You could sell that, I reckon, if you were switched on enough. Like, I'm not saying that she's trying to play for an easy base, but that would have been a run.
Yeah.
You would sell it.
Any way you can get on.
Yeah, totally. Get on base. That's the name of the game.
Nice.
Again, another nice hearty at bat here from Victoria, isn't it, Mel?
Yeah, she's made an adjustment. She's shortened up on the bat. She's just looking to punch it through the infield now. She's not looking for a sack fly or anything. She's just going to put the ball into play and see what happens.
Keep the train rolling.
Yeah, Yo's obviously trying to do the opposite.
1-2 count. Not being easy for Grauer early. Swing and a miss. It's her 4th strikeout. Victoria applying pressure, still haven't been able to break through. They'll still have 2 more chances, maybe, at it.
First out of the inning, a key out to strikeout, but they've still got a bit of work to do, the Stars. We mentioned Rixon's 12-pitch inning for her first inning at Gillies Shield. Grauer's already thrown 40. We're only 1 out into the second inning.
Amelia Mercuri from Brandon Heights in Victoria. Slaps it over to the left side. They're going to try to make the play at home. Bell White scoops it up and makes the play. Lana Kaesler had a throw that was a little low to Bell White. She made the adjustment, and they get the lead runner, and it's 2 down for Victoria.
Let's have a look on the Eastern replay. Great ball into play. I thought the runner might have got in the way. Kaesler was careful on the throw, but a great pick up from Bell. Look at that. One toe. One cleat on home plate. Great angle from Spacequake Sports.
Yeah, I think Lana was a bit wary of the runner there. Would have been a tough play with a runner going straight to home plate.
So if you're at third in that situation, are you thinking, what's your first instinct? Is it double play? Is it lead runner? What are you thinking over at third in that situation?
I think in a play like it was a sort of a slow roller, so Lana had to come in and get it.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard hit ball.
Yeah, she was probably just, and with the runner being in her way a little, I think she was just thinking of getting the one out at that point.
Caitlin Laird struck out in her first at-bat. This is a huge at-bat in terms of momentum for this game. Victoria, if they can score some runs, they'll be feeling great with a lead after 2. If South Australia can get a bit of a bases loaded, no-out jam, that will give a jolt to the dugout. Huge at-bat early. Caitlin Laird watches
Great
one outside.
White still wants it. Held it there for a little bit extra time. It's not writing a line in the dirt, which is an ejectable offence, but it's still trying to get that message across to the umpire. I think you might have missed one there, Blue. Don't mind that as a catcher. So much goes into calling a game from behind the plate. You don't want to get ripped off.
Laird fouls it away, so 2 strikes. South Australia just a strike from getting out of this, but 1 swing of the bat for the Titans. Put some color on the scorecard. Just 20 years old in her debut at a Nationals. Already had a productive game versus our ACT. Can really announce herself right here. Swings at a pitch down low, and Yo Grauer gets 2 strikeouts and some help from the defense, and South Australia gets out of a bases-loaded, no-out jam, and that is a sigh of relief for South Australia.
Yes, massive sigh of relief. Yo got herself out of that one. Good job.
Loaded bases, none out, strikeout, fielder's choice from Kaiser, great play and a great pickup from White. Then a strikeout to end it. It bounced before the catcher, but White just stood on home plate there. So if anyone missed it, the third out was made. And now SA arrested the momentum. Can they build some themselves in front of this home crowd and build on their 1-run lead?
I was wondering what the energy would be after, or if South Australia could get out of the jam, and it almost looked not necessarily a celebratory one. It was a, oh, thank goodness, kind of feeling.
Yeah, back to business with the bats.
Pippa Adkins will lead things off for South Australia. Any update on the second diamond from our man Weathers down there?
Look, he's a gem, and I love him for it, but he's just sent me a video of Rickson. Looks real good. New South Wales have made another double play. 7 in the first 2 games. The prediction was 11 after day 1. Playing like they've got a bed curfew.
I love that comment.
Said.
So they're just trying to get this game done, and they're up big right now over Queensland. Grace Rickson, good for her. That's a great story. We're going to have to be taking count of these names. I feel like you almost need that. Like, you have the Rookie of the Year. You almost need a roster of players that can be on the breakout team of the year. There's so many newbies in this competition this year. Pippa Adkins, it's a slow roller. It's a tough play. Adkins down there. They tried to make the play. Perfect placement for Adkins, and the reaction sort of says it all right there.
Look, for all the unlucky at-bats that you have as a player, you take the lucky ones, because you can hit a screaming line drive, shortstop mate lays out for a diving play, ripped you off a hit, you'd take that.
Is that one of the ones when you're playing like tennis and the ball just hits the net and just falls over on the other side that you just kind of wave and say, yep, sorry?
No, you don't even apologise. You take that.
She still had to run it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Shortstops don't apologise when they make diving catches on you. So
I love that. That's a great point.
I take that. I take the Texas Leaguers. Anything you can get.
Because of all the hard work that come before it. As they say in sport, you don't see the months of hard work that's gone into it. That's a little bit of payback for some hard work.
In a game of failures, you got to celebrate the success.
Yeah. We also call it justice softball. Like, it all evens out in the end. You know, for every diving catch or whatever spectacular play that's made against you, you get the odd bleeder or whatever. Yeah.
We're all in agreement with that. Look, Victoria have not wasted any time They've gone through one time through the lineup and they've changed pitches. There's already movement in the bullpen for a second change if required as well. So we've got number 6 in. Who's going to help me out with that? Lee's done the lineups, number 6. We don't have
Well,
a
she's
6
not on my
in the
list
card.
that I ran through either before the tournament began.
Might get Mel to have a look over our scorer's shoulders there. Magnificent team of statisticians sitting to our left here at the commentary, so we will...
Now, this is Talise Bonner.
Yep, Talise Bonner. Thank you.
She was a late add to the side. We did talk about Talise Bonner.
Yep.
I'm completely lying to everybody, to our audience. Making her debut, a late add-in. Said that she'd come in maybe as a pinch runner or just a very young player for Victoria. A late addition to the squad, so great to see her make the debut. So Bonner is in.
Look, just while it's a quick change, I'll just let you know, Softball Australia want to know if you're watching on the live stream, let us know where you're watching from, but also give a shout out to your club and your association. Tell us where you play and locally, and hopefully someone who is watching sees your comment, looks up softball.com.au, find a club, and you might get a new member out of it. So, yeah, let us know where you're watching from on the live stream.
Well, this is the third game that we've called today, but game number 6 and 7 going on simultaneously. Back at the top of the lineup, Amber Hood. She's struck out twice today, which is more than I've ever seen Amber Hood strike out in like 6 months stretch.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Stars are missing Amber's younger sister, Georgia, who's JUCAL won their division, won their conference.
What
Pensacola State.
Smashing it over there.
She's very good.
You know, the Cath Coral voting, I saw the top 10. Georgia was in the top 10. She played half a season. Imagine adding her to this team.
We'll take a look at how Hills went after Georgia Hood left.
Yeah, we might not mention that, but
Well, I'm just talking about the impact of a player on the team, though, right?
dead ball. But this young lady has made a name for herself. 400 hitter this year in the Premier League. All-tournament team for the Premier League season at second base, but she can catch, she can play shortstop. She's a terrific lead-off batter. Be interesting to see if she leads off for West Torrens next year.
Yes, that will be.
I've heard there is a player returning.
Oi.
That's a hit.
Amber Hood gets the second straight hit. This is off Bonner. Young player making her debut. So Pippa Adkins on second, and the SA Stars at home have 2 runners on with nobody out. And how the tables have turned.
Back-to-back hits, Atkins and Hood.
Just 5 minutes ago, it was bases loaded for Victoria and nobody out, and they were staring at the chance of taking the lead. SA with the middle of their lineup. Robinson lays down a play. They get the leadoff runner, so playing some small ball, they advance runners to second and third, and that will set it up for Bell White.
Yeah, Victoria had it loaded bases, none out with their 8-9 hitters due up. SA, 2 runs in scoring positions with their 3-4-5, and between them have hit 10,000 hits and 1,500 RBIs over the course of the last few seasons in the Premier League. I am not surprised to see an intentional base on balls for White.
However,
but it's danger.
Yeah. They've picked Maddie Cameron to hit in a few RBIs.
So Maddie Cameron, who had an RBI in the last game, she drove in Bell White, will have the bases loaded right here, and she's a batter that likes to go early in counts. We'll see if she does the same thing against Therese Bonner right here. Big chance for the Stars to build a bit of a lead.
She normally goes first pitch, Mel.
Good girl, Maddie.
In the Spacequake Sports promo that they did, just a little teaser for the Gillies Shield, it had a highlight of Maddie Cameron hitting a ding-dong home run dead center field.
Well, it's very still out here. You don't see a lot of home runs this time of night at this ballpark. If there was going to be one, it's now.
Mel, I do know that this used to be your favorite diamond to play on.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. We didn't hit many home runs back in our day. We didn't have the ghost bats back then.
Yeah.
That would have helped.
Yes. Yes, it would have. Oh, my gosh, they're amazing.
Eastern Ghost, it's the best bat on the market. You can buy it from MC Port Road in Woodville, and Eastern, it's got to be the best product in the market.
And a cracking shot from Maddie Cameron. That's going to rattle up against the wall. They've scored 1. They've scored 2. They're going to try to score 3. Cameron hustling for a triple, and the Stars have a 4-0 lead off the backs of a Maddie Cameron bases clearing triple.
3 RBIs after an intentional base on balls. Oh, you wouldn't want to be in the third base dugout right now. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay, the Eastern Ghost replay, let's call it that for this play, as it rattles off the fence. Lead was just in too close for Maddie Cameron, and she just does this time and time again.
That pitch was there to be crushed, and she crushed it.
Adkins, Hood, and White all across the plate.
Well, 2 different opportunities with bases loaded and 1 out or no outs for both these teams early in the game. South Australia cashes all of the base runners in. Victoria leaves them stranded, and that is really all you need to know right now. Alana Kaesler up to bat.
She got the ball rolling for the Stars in the second inning, was the first run of the game, and that come off the back of a triple opposite field.
Alana Kaesler, big spark plug.
Nice pitch.
Tough situation for Bonner to come in, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Top of the lineup.
Well, don't be surprised if you see South Australia make a pitching change soon. Talking to the coaching staff before, they said the game plan was get a few runs lead if they could and bring in Millie Fidge.
That could be enough. Oh, Cameron.
Kaesler grounds out. Cameron stays at third. It's 2 down. Brings Yo Grauer, who's already got an RBI, to the plate.
A slow roller to the infielder or the runner on third. Generally, they're going to score, but hard when it goes to the third base player. They're the closest player to that runner, so Yo Grauer's got the job. She could bring in her second RBI. She already has one for the night.
She got herself out of that bases loaded jam. She's also had 5 strikeouts and no runs allowed to start this game.
Yeah, she's not a bad player.
A local now, working on that permanent residency here in South Australia.
Are you helping her with that, Eric? Aussie
not.
Eric?
But I could.
3-3, yes.
It's another RBI for Yo Grauer.
5-6 hole to me. What's it called to you, Mel?
The karaoke.
RBI single for Grauer, make it 2 for the night.
Well, the Stars made an adjustment after their first couple games, and it was just a small one. They moved Alana Kaesler up in the lineup, and they dropped Yo Grauer and Sarah Tonkin down. Maybe it was just knowing that there's probably going to be base runners there to cash in, and Tonkin had an RBI last game. Grauer's got 2 RBIs this game, and it's been a nice little tiny adjustment that's worked for South Australia.
Yeah, it helps as well when you've already played 2 games in the tournament as well. The pace of the tournament picks up a little bit. However, you catch up to it pretty quickly too. And coming up against New South Wales and really being taken to the limits in 8 innings with some amazing play from New South Wales, it's going to lift your game.
Tonkin to center field. Amelia Mercury moves under it and makes the play, but a big inning from South Australia. It started off with a single from Adkins, a single from Hood. Belle White was intentionally walked. Maddie Cameron cashed him in, and Yo Grauer added another for good measure. And South Australia, heading to the bottom of the third, is up 5-zip.
Yeah, great signs for the home team. And yeah, I only got to play here at a national championship a couple of times, and the men's program in South Australia not that successful if I'm honest, but we had a couple of wins in one day, and one of them was against Victoria, and it was our first win in over a decade. This home field advantage, it really does add a couple of runs to your performance. And that's why I'm so stoked that it's here for the first time since 2005, the Gillies Shield.
Well, James Harris, I know you did a lot of work to make this happen, and then, of course, nothing starts off perfect. The fields took a lot of work from yourself and the team here just to get the full slate of play in. So we're going to get through day one without missing any pitch between any of the teams. So thank you very much for that. And thank you very much to everybody who tuned in, whether it be on the radio stream or the broadcast today. Watching softball is a lot more fun when you have an audience watching. So please let us know in the comments where you're watching from and your clubs. We'll read those out in a second. I got to give a shout out right now to Karen Milburn in Guelph, Ontario, watching for breakfast.
Brilliant. Well, That's my mom. We've been going worldwide since we started. We know we've got viewers from all around the world, but Eric, you mentioned the team that we've got here. We wouldn't be playing right now if it wasn't for the volunteers. The diamonds were wet. We weren't expecting as much rain overnight as we got, and it was a slight delay, but you know, we are back. We are playing, and every single game from the draw has been played or is playing at the moment. So,
well, you can just rewind on this stream back to the top of this broadcast. Andrew Scott was on for 2-3 minutes just to talk about what went in to getting the grounds set up, and he detailed how many people there was. 105 kilometers an hour from Yo Grauer on that pitch to Kari Pritchard.
Yeah, it was a village of people to get us playing today. And I mean, the staff and the volunteers in the lead up to this tournament have been amazing as well. You cannot have one person missing.
Pritchard up the middle. Grauer had a bit of a wayward throw, but Pippa Adkins still got down and made the play.
Yeah, you can't have one person missing from your team in the lead up to and during a tournament. It's just such a massive event, and I'm not having a go at anyone, but the whole softball organisation stops to get a tournament like this up and running.
Here we go, start us off now.
Bree Trim had that single in the first inning. Really nice at bat she had. Grauer just looks confident now after dicey
holding him that list. Yeah, that inning, yeah. And then we bounce back with a few more runs. She's gone up a notch, I feel.
Eric Ballner, James Harris, Mel McGee, 4 Kath Carroll medals. Calling the action for you.
That's 1 1/3 Kath Carroll medals each.
Yeah, thank you. That feels nice.
Yeah.
Getting back to the space crates going worldwide, did you hear the story about Lana getting recognised up in Darwin recently?
No.
We've got to tell the story. Yeah, Mel, I'll let you tell the story. I've only heard it secondhand. You've heard it firsthand.
Yeah, well, she was up in Darwin recently visiting her mum, and I can't remember where she was exactly. Somewhere in Darwin.
In the shops.
In the shops, was it?
Yeah.
And this guy's come up and said, "Are you Lana Kaysler?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "Oh, I've seen you you play softball for West Torrens."
Eagles, yeah.
And she said, "Yes, I do." So yeah, shout out to whoever that was if you're watching tonight.
So that happened to me last year when I was in Alice Springs at a festival down there. We were in a big chat and people ask what you do, and I say, "Yep, I'm involved in baseball." And they said, "Oh, you don't by any chance do the softball games that we see on NITV?" And I said, "No, that's not me, but." No, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's far-reaching in Australia.
Yeah.
It's on national TV.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bree Tripp battling away. She's had 2 battles with Yo Grauer now.
Whew, what's wrong with that?
That was probably just under the bottom of the zone. It's a good idea to wear the socks up so high because that shows the umpire where the zone finishes and starts. Story I've got a couple of friends in the Netherlands. They're actually watching this to scout, to recruit players to play in their European summer.
Cool.
Swing and a miss.
Why not, hey? I'm sure there's some college coaches out there too watching these games, doing some recruiting.
Maybe he's your Hawaii coach.
Maybe.
Well, there might be a future Hawaii player coming into the game pretty soon.
Fingers crossed. She gets out there.
6 strikeouts for Grauer.
Impressive performance. Bases were loaded with no out in the second inning, and South Australia got out of the jam. inside. Kylie Steamers plays at EJ's at Knox. He's moved into a leadership position with this changing of the guard that Victoria has had. Grounds us over towards third. It just spins foul. 2 hits and a few RBIs in the 9-1 win over ACT. Victoria, regardless of this result, will be feeling pretty good going to bed 1-1 to start the day.
Yeah, I think so. And so far in this game, they've not looked out of place. They've had some good cuts, good pieces of the ball. Been threatening.
And if they could have found a hit with bases loaded, then it's a 5-3, 5-4 game right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steamers, then Lem will do up, but it's a 1-2 start to this inning for Victoria. Again outside.
Full count, another big battle here between batter and pitcher.
They've made Grauer work. And it's a hard hit shot. Right field, back to the wall, and it's over. It's a home run.
Right.
Kylie Steamers crushes one. It's up Otako. It's 5-1.
The ball travels well here at West Beach, particularly to the right side. Don't underestimate that 230-foot fence is achievable if you can get after an outside pitch and drive it opposite field, which is what Steamers has done. It's hit the top of the 8-foot fence, and that's the first run of the game for Victoria. Their hard work will pay off, and there's an example.
That was smoked.
That was a great, off the bat. That was gone. Did it hit the top of the fence?
Hit the top of the fence. I don't think she realised off the bat because it was going opposite field.
Yeah.
You don't normally think it's going to travel.
Yeah.
We've seen some big home runs today, haven't we? Bell White on Diamond 2, wasn't on the live stream. Taylor Titsakronis, add to that list, Kylie Steamers.
And another hard hit ball, but this right at the shortstop in Chelsea Robinson, who scoops down, picks it up, makes the play. 5-1 after 3. A big top for South Australia, but Steamers responds with the home run. Eric, Mel, and James will be with you after the break. Back at the ballpark here at Softball South Australia Complex on beautiful Ghana land. South Australia 5-1 leaders through 3 innings of this 7-inning game. It's not the only game going on here. There's another game going on the back diamond, another big rivalry game. The Blues versus the Maroons, right?
Yeah, you've got me, Eric. It's 5-0, bottom 4 in favour of the Fire Starters, and they are just picking up where they left off from their earlier game against ACT. And
Grace Rickson.
Yeah,
getting it done.
Sorry, you caught me off guard. I was having a look at the 2 lineups. It took 3 innings for Victoria to get on the board from. There you go, the Steamers' home run. They've had 14 batters through 3 innings. Stars have only had 16.
Yeah.
So it's not too much difference. It's just that the Stars have capitalised and
the bases loaded opportunities, right? Got any softball shout-outs we got to make in the comments section where people are watching from after we just saw that softball commercial?
Yeah, that's why we want you to let us know where you're watching from. It's a club finder on the Softball Australia website. You can actually see it from any of the Softball State websites as well, and it's such a great sport. We had a 7% rise in membership this year in South Australia, and we've I think we've arrested the decline in the membership that we've had over the 20, 25-year period. It's no surprise or secret that we have had a slight drop, but let's not forget, this sport's global, and the numbers that play softball around the world dwarf AFL, NRL, and netball put together. Just thinking about that and how much people believe that football's a religion here in this state. Well, around the world, softball means more to more people. And
I mean, you think about it, even where I'm from in Canada, softball is played regularly, socially, competitively, high level. Canada turns out some pretty good softballers too.
There you go, there's a shout out. Dave Borovnik's watching all the way from Fulham Gardens.
Wow.
That would be at least a 2 or 3 minute drive from here.
Yeah, Thanks for coming out.
Love Dave Borovnik. Dave, his nickname, Lee's best nickname for an umpire, Dave Never Leave Early Borovnik, is a men's premiership player here in South Australia as well for the mighty Bay Machine. But
while we're talking about that, Gemma Letton just earned a base on balls here, so she's on first base. And from an opposition standpoint, Gemma Letton is not someone you want to let on the base pass, called the Riverland Roadrunner for a reason.
I often wonder, do the states watch the Premier League to do their scouting? Would they know that Gemma Letton would be one of the fastest in this team, if not in this state? Sorry, Georgie, you need to come back before I can give you that mantle again.
And if you didn't know, you're about to find out. She can fly, Gemma Letton, just a great athlete in general.
Pippa Adkins had that infield single. That's all we have to say about it.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Her first plate appearance.
Goes down as a hit, right?
Yeah, got the ball rolling in the third inning for the Stars, where they piled on 4. She's pretty good in the short game, Pippa. She's a tall player. She can rope one to the fence, but she can also get it down on the ground and beat one out. Mentioned earlier that she was a junior spirit player. She played at a junior worlds with Sophie Roberts, who's in this lineup as well. Georgia Hood, we mentioned earlier, obviously not part of the team tonight.
Slapped over towards the right side. It's just handcuffed a little bit. Pritchard gets the ball over, but it's not in time. Atkins was flying down the line.
It's the job done. Pippa Adkins hits it hard to the right side, and the runner had to dodge it. Oh, she wasn't even looking, but beep, beep, the road runner gets past, and she's got runners at 1 and 2.
Well, she's gone through the path right in that soft spot over at second base. The field a little soft over there.
It is. Yeah, I saw Taylor Titz-Corona sort of slip on it in the game 2 today.
Bunt laid down by Hood. They'll make the, it's dropped over at third. It's going to cost them a run. Runner will score. So South Australia takes advantage of a mistake. Gemma Letton scores easily. Pippa Adkins for third, so it's an error. And it'll be runners on first and third, and another run across the board for South Australia, who restore the 5-run lead.
Victoria did everything right there. Just probably ball got away from them a little. There is a little confusion here. Players asking the question. Nothing coming from the dugout, though, so runners will stay at the corners. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Yeah, didn't do too much wrong. For the second base player covering first, just had to turn a glove downwards, and that was all it took. We mentioned how quick Gemma Letton is. Well, Amber Hood was up there with the most stolen bases for the season in the SA Premier League. She goes uncontested to second, 2 runners in scoring position for Robinson White. Cameron, could be some more damage to the scoreboard coming.
No outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Ball hit on the ground hard. It's going to hold the runners. So that's the first out, and Victoria will be happy with that.
That's a great play by Schaefer to come attack that half volley there.
We'll get a look at it, I think, on the Eastern replay.
She made that look easy. That's a tough play.
Bell White, Maddie Cameron due up. They had this exact scenario, runners on second and third, and 1 out in the third inning. They elected to walk Bell White, where Maddie Cameron promptly drove in all runs on the base path. It's deja vu all over again for Victoria. South Australia, by the way, have now scored 10 runs in the tournament, all on day one. They only scored 20, I think it was, in their last Gillies Shield.
Yeah, different story. This team has grown and matured, and on their home deck as well.
The Olympian Belle White has hit a home run. She's got on base and scored in game 2, and she got on base and scored in game 3. So she has scored in every game that she has played so far.
I don't have a stat. I'd like to know a stat if anyone out there watching knows it. What the batting average does to a batter their next turn at bat after an intentional walk.
Wow, that'd be a cool one to look at.
Because they intentionally walked her a second plate appearance after a ground out back to the pitcher.
Well, there was an intentional walk versus New South Wales today. Taylor Titsacronis, and then what happened?
Home run. Maybe they're saving the next intentional walk for the batter that's on deck.
Might be too late.
Yeah. Maddie Cameron has RBIs now in 2 straight games. 4 on the day, 3 in this game, and it came on one crushing shot. Well, it's a walk, so it is the exact same scenario. 1 out, bases loaded, and Belle White up to bat. Or not Belle White, sorry, Maddie Cameron up to bat. Bases clearing triple, last time up.
It is dangerous putting Belle White on. She's one of the most aggressive base runners that we have. And I'm telling you, like, for someone who is, you know, reaching the prime of her career, let's just say in her 30s, yeah, she goes as hard as anyone.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of Stacey Porter. I've watched a lot of Stacey Porter over the years, and she'll, wherever Stacey hits it, whatever she does, she's the best player in, well, arguably in the world, and she will beat out anything. And Belle's very much like that in our Premier League. Like, she doesn't take anything for granted. She will...
Tries always takes the extra base as well. She'll take on an arm.
Yeah, turn on an error at left field into a triple or something like, you know. Yeah, very good.
Still only the 1 out. Next 3 batters all have RBIs today.
Cameron, hard hit ball down the line. That just goes foul. If that was a foot to the right, that's down Death Alley, and it clears them all too.
Saw that hit in the early game against New South Wales. I think it was Grauer. She hit it just over third base. It was in fair territory, and then it just continued to arc into the fence where she got extra bases. It is Dead Man's Alley down there.
Yeah.
Up the middle, it takes a funny hop, and it's another RBI for Maddie Cameron. Runners will hold up. It'll just be a single. It took a weird hop at short, but it's a 7-1 lead.
Nothing weird about that. She took a little bit off the swing and placed it up the middle. Tough bounce for the Victorian shortstop. The change is coming.
Another great piece by Maddie Cameron there. Punched the ball up the middle. She thought she wanted to keep it in the park this time, I think. So she...
Well, another RBI. We might need to check with the official score on that one. I'm giving it a hit. That was a tough play for the shortstop.
Yeah, I gave it a hit.
Yeah, it's coming off the... You don't want to penalise the shortstop for giving
play.
that up.
Yeah.
In comes Megan Graw into the circle for Victoria. Now watch her. She can spin the ball a little bit so she can try to get those ground outs, which is exactly what Victoria will need right now, just to stay in with a faint hope in this game. There's still 1 out, and Kaesler and Grauer and Tonkin are due up, and still 1 out, bases loaded. But watch the spin here maybe from Megan Graw.
Yeah, there is a little danger starting to think too far ahead of yourself in the 4th inning, 7-1 up. But there's a couple of Stars players on the roster that haven't got onto the diamond yet. Mel, I'm going to put you on the spot here for you to answer. Is this the time that you bring your kids in, give them a go, get them on the diamond, even if it's a pinch hit, even if it's a pinch run, even if it's to come in as an actual substitution?
I think if the situation presents itself, yeah, you'd absolutely try and get everyone in the game on day one. get everyone on the diamond, make them feel a part of, the action day one. And
go to bed feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Update from Diamond 2 from Anthony Weatherspoon. Things leveling out in the top of the 5th. New South Wales in the heart of the lineup as Queensland have made a change with Emily Solomon, just 17 years old, making her open debut for Queensland in the circle. Last innings, 20-year-old Rickson, by the way, clocked at 97 kilometers an hour, and it's still 5-0 for New South Wales. So New South Wales, if they can keep things coasting, they will be 3-0 at the end of day's play. And they had 2 tough victories versus South Australia. They could have been 0-2 if it weren't for some spectacular defense. A couple double plays in this game, too. So I think they're up to 9 double plays on the day.
There is an old saying in sport that defense wins games.
Yeah, defense wins championships.
Sorry, championships. But, I've rarely seen a game where your hitters don't win the game for you in softball. But you are absolutely right, Eric. The defense of New South Wales in game 1 of the 22 Gillies Shield, their defense won them the game.
Credit to them. South Australia, talking to their coaching staff after that game, they didn't feel too bad at all. They said, hey, they kind of tipped their cap to New South Wales and said, hey, you know what? We put ourselves in a position to win it, and you stopped us. So it wasn't like...
Yeah, double plays.
Yeah, double plays. They were a hit away from breaking it open in the early stages.
Yeah, they had a game-winning run on base as well in the bottom of the 7th. The Stars, they had a chance.
Kayser, left field. This is back to the wall, and it's gone.
Grand slam, Lana Kayser.
It's 11-1.
She's been on fire today.
She's already got a triple at it, a home run. And Lana Kayser, who's been so clutch at Gillies Shields, has a salami and 4 RBIs.
Unbelievable, Mel. Your little speech is giggling over there in the corner.
My heart is pumping up my chest. I got a little tear in my eye. So proud.
Eastern replay and change up that Kayser.
Oh, she knew.
She knew it. After a second step, let's have a look at this.
And she can't believe it, but she knew.
She was pumped when she got to 3rd early in the game. This time, it's, yeah.
Well, South Australia wanted a party on Saturday night.
The Northern Territory crew will be out of their seats.
Yeah.
They're having a rave, South Australia.
Lana's #1 fan up in Darwin. Give us a shout out.
Wow.
Long ball.
Oh, that was...
Lana's part of our commentary team. She called a home run. What did she call it?
A double.
No, that was a
hard hit ball.
Oh, the
That was
hits
his
just
second
keep
home run.
on coming. They're going to rename the Stars Elvis. The hits just keep on coming tonight against the Vicks. I reckon she called a home run, and it was an amazing call. Lana
Was that the Maslin one?
It was double. She hit a double. Maslin hit 2 home runs in 1 game. Jess is watching tonight, part of your Stars sisterhood, and a Cathcaro medalist herself, same as Lana Kayser.
And a premier times 2. Awkward ball at the middle. That ball slips away.
Throw's gone wayward there. Lots happening on that play, Eric. I'll just say it's come right off the end of the bat.
Yeah.
She's chalked it like a Q-tip. The pitcher just lost it, thinking, oh, that's coming straight back at me. And Grauer beats 1 out, and the throw just got away, but she stands on 2. On first.
Now South Australia
Here's the change.
peppering Victoria right now.
Single to 1? I don't know. What? She turned her back, so she didn't field it. It came off her foot.
Oh, yeah.
Every player has been on, except 1 player, so 8 of the 9 players in the starting lineup have been on base today. 6 of them have been on base twice.
Here's Neve Adams. She was a reserve for the Stars come selection and played in the under-18s just recently. Elevated when Steph Drzezinski's call up to Japan. And here's her chance. Another young player named in the Aussie under-18 team to go to the Canada Cup. Her older sister, Zali Adams, is over in the NCAA Division 1. And, you know, she's such a good player. A couple of years ago in the under-16, she won the MVP award for the tournament. Then went and played under-18s and plays A-grade for Sturt in the Premier League and does that.
She's won a championship.
Yeah, won a championship. She does that long drive that we're talking about, Rixon from Port Pirie country, South Australia. Just keeps breeding quality players and quality people. And this young lady's got a huge future.
Well, if you want to follow all those players that are in the college system in the States, don't forget to go and check out Softball Shoutout, run by one of the players playing in this competition.
Yeah, thanks, Jade Jensen. We're still trying to talk her into joining us here on commentary.
Apparently she's quite shy, even though she's very outward on that. But that's the book on her.
I saw her just walking past for training yesterday.
Were you starstruck?
Jade, it's James. Like, we've been messaging because she does such a great work. I gave her a couple of contacts.
She's only 19.
Yeah, brilliant. She's playing in the 23s as well next week. So she'll be here for a week.
I started following that on Twitter. It popped up in my Twitter feed, and I was like, this is impressive. And
I remember you coming to see me saying we should do something. And it's been on my whiteboard ever since. Don Cameron suggested we do it as well.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, the resources, the time and effort to put into what she does, it's unbelievable. And shout out to you, Jade. Softball shout out to you, Jade.
I'm impressed because I'm in charge of tracking how, in baseball, how some of the Giants players go, and that takes like 3 hours to go through every time you want to do it. And she does videos, she does podcast updates, so anything that I've done, she does 10 times better. I can't imagine the time it takes her to do that. Even it's just so professionally done on the Facebook page with all the different logos of the teams that are, like, it looks good. So Softball Shout Out. Shout out to you, Softball Shout Out. This is a shout out on a softball broadcast of Softball Shout Out. Shout out.
All right, Neve Adams. She's batting for Sarah Tonkin.
They're batting well.
Yes.
And she's going to get ahead.
On the board.
Neve Adams grinds her way through to find a pitch that she can drive, and that is a big smile on her face.
There's your rookie right there. Coming up clutch. Well, South Australia's done this twice today. Taylor Chillingworth, in her Open Women's debut, came in for a pitch in the extra innings against New South Wales and just rocked one up the middle.
Contributions from 17-year-olds, contributions from 41-year-olds from this South Australian team today.
I don't know that there'd be too many SA rookies that could claim a hit their first at bat.
What about two?
Professionals. I know, 2 in one day. Oh, if anyone out there's listening, played Open SA,
Today's the day to make your debut.
let us know if you had to hit your debut at bat, because very impressive.
10th batter of the inning.
Gemma Letton making her Open debut. That ball slips away, so it is now 2 runners in scoring position. Still just the 1 out. South Australia, the last 2 innings in particular, have piled it on.
There's a message on the live stream. Jade can also sing.
She can. She sang the national anthem before the under-16 championships.
Last week. There you go. Thanks, Denise.
And her brother is a musician as well, and I believe they did that song that appeared in one of the broadcasts of the Olympics when Team Australia was playing. There's a pretty cool little community in this country.
3-0 for Letton. She had a walk earlier on in this inning. I'm not sure we're allowed to mention the Olympics. We don't own the rights. We asked to use some images.
We can't even mention it?
And we weren't allowed to use them. So thanks, Australian Olympic Committee.
Let's pretend it never happened? Is that what we're...
No, there's 5 Olympians playing in this tournament.
Can't mention it. 5 players that went to represent Australia at a tournament using all the countries in the world in Tokyo in 2021.
Second base on ball for the innings for the Riverland Roadrunner, or affectionately known as the Smiling Assassin.
The Smiling Assassin. I love the Smiling Assassin.
Doesn't she remind you every time she plays the game why we play the game? For the love.
Yep.
You saw that with the catcher from ACT earlier in the game too, didn't you?
Infield fly.
Infield fly called, so runners will stay.
Alexi Cooper.
Alexi Cooper was fun to watch, and she had that huge double. She had a couple hits versus New South Wales, but yeah, Alexis Cooper, just one of those people that, yeah, you just felt like you were having fun and you weren't even playing in the game.
Surely she's got a nickname like Poison or
something like
I don't know. Like Alex Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
Alexi
Oh,
Cooper.
yeah.
Has to be.
Alice Cooper.
That's
Alice
Alice Cooper.
All right.
But close.
I've gone way out of left field there, but Victoria making this second pitching change.
Third of the inning. Third of the inning.
Third of the inning, fourth for the game.
Second of the inning, fourth. I don't know.
Yeah, second.
And SA are just having a bit of a team chat, and their combined age over there would be less than the two pitchers that we mentioned earlier today. Have a look at that. You've got
Hood 23.
Pippa Atkins would only be 21.
That's
Gemma
44,
Letton would be
44.
21.
That's 65.
Neve 17.
They're identical. Those four players are the exact same age as the two pitchers that were playing each other early.
Queensland SA. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Love to see it.
We've thanks to Bryony on the live stream, Hayley Benithan hit a 3-base shot in her first at bat for the Stars.
There we go.
She's another player in the college system.
By the way, Anthony Weatherstone letting us know that Queensland has come alive in the bottom of the fifth. Savannah Siva hit a triple in the hole between third base, scored McLeod. And then Orsini came in for the third time of the day in her third game. And a pass ball has scored a run. So Queensland making a pushback. All of a sudden, it's a 5-2 game in the fifth inning on Diamond 2. So Queensland not going into the night quietly.
Jess Maslin also commented she
Yes.
got her first at bat a hit for the Stars as well. There's a bit of a theme happening here.
Yeah.
So what we should do, from a Stars perspective, is does not play somebody that's making their debut that hasn't got a hit yet.
Yeah.
And
Until
save
the
it for the
final?
gold medal game where there's bases loaded and you need one. Is that how it should work?
That's how it works. Batter number 12.
Yeah, it's been relentless. A lot of hits in this inning. They've scored 7 runs. There's been a grand slam in this inning from Lana Kaesler. It's just tough to recap, but that's the highlight is Lana Kaesler. That slips away. That's going to score a run. It's become a 12-1 game. And it has blown out. Impressive.
Nice pitch by Hannah there.
Yeah, it's always tough making that change as a batter, seeing it from the left side. So a pitch that was a called strike, it's cut across the zone a little bit, so you think, oh, I better get out of the way of this.
Yeah,
Powerful
coming in.
lefty, a heavy ball she'll throw. And you can see it right there.
Yeah.
It's 99, but I think it's deceptive. She's got long levers, she's a tall pitcher, and it's coming from that left side. And she's got a bit of a funk to her wind-up as well, doesn't she? She really twists that body around.
To right field, that's going to score 1. It's probably going to score 2. And Amber Hood has her second hit of the game, Amber Hood.
2 RBIs, second hit, third time on for the game. The Stars lead off having a night, having a day.
Today I was walking around the diamond and I heard somebody who had some concerns. I mean, Amber Hood had 2 walks in it, and he said, you know what my crazy prediction is that Amber Hood's not going to get a hit in the tournament. And you said that is the most insane thing you have ever heard in your entire life. And she's got 2 hits today.
I pointed at him after her first hit as well. We don't have to mention that his name
No, it's just
rhymes with David Muggleton.
someone was walking out around the diamond and just said that.
But he is cheering for her. But he also did say, he's trying to justify it now. He's in my ear now. He's trying to justify it. He did say, but will lead the on-base average for the team.
Just walks. He actually did say that, to his credit. But she's got 2 hits today.
9 spot on the inning so far for the Stars with 1 out, 2 out.
Chelsea Robinson, the only player that hasn't been on base for the Stars that has been in the game, whether it be pinch hitter or not. Chelsea Robinson, the only one yet to be on base.
She nearly got a hit. She got robbed by Lamel at the 9-3 play. You hate those as a hitter. We mentioned before about how they balance out. Right, she had a sacrifice bunt as well. She's contributed.
Was she the first out in this inning? Yes. The first and third.
Well,
but a huge inning for South Australia.
Which she's a part of.
9 runs, which she absolutely is a part of, moving the train along. And 14-1 for South Australia. That is a big one here in the 4th inning. Mel, that was a lot.
That was a lot. That was a long inning. A lot. Looks like Millie Fitch is coming into the game.
So Millie Fitch.
Yeah, 13 batters, 9 runs, and, throw in your Neve Adams pinch hit for a single.
Yeah.
Throw in your grand salami from Lana Kaiser.
Well, that inning.
2 walks, this inning. 2 walks from Gemma Letton, who started things off, scored 2 runs in that inning. Amber Hood got on twice with 2 RBIs. It's the middle of the 4th. We'll just change the score bug there. Middle of the 4th. Just get that confirmed.
Yeah, it's the middle of the 4th.
And we don't like to talk about this, but we're in run rule territory here. It is
James.
No, I know you're not supposed to talk about it, but we're neutral here. We are, although we're in South Australia, we want the home team to do well. And we do it for the people watching at home, perhaps for the first time. The run rule in softball is if your team is ahead by 15 runs after 3 innings, 10 runs in 4 innings or 7 or more after 5, the game can get called early or will get called early under the run rule. So effectively, Victoria need 4 to keep this game going, and they have to face this young lady, Millie Fidge, who has signed and committed to Hawaii. She's been a premiership pitcher for the Sturt Club. She's made the Aussie Junior Spirit team. Unfortunately, didn't get to travel to Peru.
The ill-fated team.
Yeah. That'd be disappointing for that age group, wouldn't it?
I can remember as a junior, she was a shortstop that also could pitch.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Because her bat was so damaging. Well, now she's a legitimate pitcher. Her Premier League ERA was under 2.
And she's going to have to pitch some important innings for South Australia at some point this week. And it's good that she gets a chance to get in the tournament, like you said, Mel. Now everybody can feel like they've contributed going to bed.
Absolutely.
And we love talking softball pedigree as well. Her mum's a Hall of Famer, and her dad's not bad as well.
Yeah, he's won that Caps medal a few times.
Yeah, the John Farnham of baseball had more retirements and comebacks than Jack, but yeah, Darren Fidge has played minor league ball in the States. Did he play majors?
Yeah, he's 67 years old and still playing in their local league.
We're all good friends with Darren. That one high for a ball. But this is exciting. This is another first-year player. We're saying this so often, aren't we? Because the changing of the guard, as someone mentioned to me yesterday, for the whole competition.
Rebecca Schaefer swings at one up high. Lost in all this, Yo Grauer just allows the 1 run. Her day is done through her 3 innings. She strikes out 6 and allows just the 1 run. And it was a big shot from Kylie Steamers, who at the time made it a 5-1 game before South Australia explodes for 9 innings in the last. South Australia could have been 3-0, but New South Wales just pipped them, and it's a strikeout on debut for Millie Fidge.
Great job coming into the game, Millie.
We talked
Ready
about
to roll?
first at-bat hits.
Yeah, there we
How
go.
about first time to the plate strikeouts?
For a debutant, yes.
For a debutant.
Very
well
impressive.
Done to Millie.
The veteran Emily Pataris up to bat. So what do we expect, Mel, at Hawaii? What's it like over in Hawaii? Give us a little bit of a rundown of what kind of the school is, the campus. What's she going to be walking into?
She's going to be walking to heaven. It's beautiful.
Oh, so you
over
liked
there.
your time there.
Yeah, I loved it. Campus is beautiful. I made some improvements since I was there 20-odd years ago. But yeah, I was chatting to her today briefly. She'll be in a dorm for her first year, her freshman year, and she's talking about getting a moped. I encouraged her to hold off on that for probably to her junior year or something. But she'll love it over there. She'll find some new.
Is the campus
family?
that big? She needs a moped to get around.
Well, I said that to her. I said there's shuttles to get you around campus, Millie.
Really?
And you can walk to training. Yeah.
Huge?
Yeah, well, from the dorms to the to the campus. Yeah.
It's the
You
same
can walk
as
to
UCLA
campus.
when I went there. I was there for a tournament.
The school that I went to was you could walk underground. You didn't have to go outside if you didn't want to.
wow.
It was also minus 40 outside.
Right.
So.
Right.
That big, eh? Wow.
Yeah, shuttle. Yeah, she can walk to training and stuff. But she said she wants a moped so she can go out, whatever that means. To the
Surfing,
beach,
to
probably.
Hangtown.
Yeah.
Surfing.
Yes.
Swing and a miss from Pateras. Is it close to the water?
It's not too far. You'd need, I used to catch the bus to go to the beach, or relied on teammates to drive me there.
Is it on the main island?
Yeah, on Oahu.
And another strikeout. Millie Fidge, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts, and South Australia 3 outs away.
Can Millie pack Bell White in her luggage when she goes to Hawaii? It must be a huge advantage for a first-year player to be pitching to your Olympic catcher and club teammate.
That'd be useful, I would think.
Millie would be familiar. Bell at the same club, although in the last couple years she would have been pitching to Sarah Tonkin primarily behind the plate. Tonkin also on this team.
I just saw another angle of that pitch that struck out the last batter. It just really cut the outside edge of the corner. It was perfect placement.
Swing and a miss.
Change up down to 86.
And it's a pinch hitter with Julianne Kinsella getting a pitch. Again, another country player for Victoria. Got a lot of her coaching online in Zoom, so good to see her get an opportunity, and this is her debut at the open level. Kinsella swings through, and that ends the game. Millie Fidge strikes out the side in her Stars debut, and South Australia roll to a 14-1 victory. I can't wait for David Muggleton to talk to, I'm assuming, Lana Kaesler.
Yeah. We both knew it, Eric. Well,
she's not. She's so shy, Lana Kaesler.
And
well, you won't get a word out of her.
No, none at all. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts.
12 pitches.
Wonder how many pitchers have done that on debut.
All right, well.
Give us a shout out on Facebook, pitchers. SA pitchers, come on.
Mel, that was impressive. You've been involved with the Stars team before in numerous roles.
We should have got Dave to get 2 players.
On day 1, 18 runs for South Australia. They scored 20 in their last tournament total.
Yep, that's very impressive. Hopefully we can keep the ball rolling tomorrow and score another 20. That'd be nice.
Well, David Muggleton is on the field right now with the woman who hit a grand slam. Dave, down to you and Lana Kaesler.
Thanks, guys. I am joined by star Lana Kaesler. 7 RBIs out of the 1 game. That's got to be a hell of a feeling.
Yeah, no, we've just had an amazing team game today. Everyone contributed, and that's all you can really ask.
So it's first day of the Gillies Shield after a long absence in the competition. South Australia had the triple header today, an extra innings game against your rivals New South Wales, followed by 2 big wins. How are you girls feeling?
The vibe amongst the squad is so great. We've got so many young players this year, and obviously a lot of returning players, and I think everyone's just really excited, and we're so pumped to be at home, so the vibes are really good.
Now, speaking of your young players, you had 2 debutantes today. Neve Adams hit on her first ever at-bat, and then just quietly Millie Fidge getting 3 strikeouts in her first ever innings. How exciting is it to see the young players get those opportunities?
Oh, it makes you want to cry. I think we see these kids come through our system and we're so proud, and we don't want to obviously leave out Chili got a hit and Neve got a hit and Millie came in and, yeah, finished that inning and just closed the game beautifully like she was a stallion, really, so it was great.
Well, congratulations on the win. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Well, South Australia now will head back. They'll head back home. So what do the coaching staff do now, Mel? Like, what is? You finished the day of play. You've got through day 1. You have a huge, daunting day tomorrow. What does the coaching staff do on any of these teams once this day's done?
I don't know if they're staying together, Bill and Andy, but back in our day, we would talk softball till probably 1 or 2 a.m. and go through the stats and go through the book and discuss what we did, what we could do better, lineups. We'd pick the lineups the next day. Like, I know your job's never done when you're coaching.
So are you game planning for what your day is next day, looking through best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, medium case scenarios?
Yes, absolutely. I think the first game for these guys is 1:30 tomorrow, so they might do it tomorrow morning as well, get an early night, especially with the late game tonight. But yeah, pretty much that's what you're doing as a coach. You're just constantly thinking on to the next.
Couple of updates for you. The game over on Diamond 2, Queensland have hit the scoreboard. It is 5-2 in favour of New South Wales. Charlie Orsini brought in to close.
Third time.
And it's her 3rd appearance for the day. She has 2 wins already. If New South Wales do run away with that game, they'll finish day 1 on top of the ladder with 3-0. South Australia will be in second with 2-1. Victoria will be in third with 1-1. Queensland ACT 0-2. That's provided New South Wales get over the top of Queensland in that game.
Well, it's been a fun day 1. Lots of highlights already, and we're looking forward to being back here tomorrow. On behalf of James Harris, Mel McGee, thank you, too, for joining me today. Dave Muggleton on the field and on the switch. And to you, everybody at home, around the country, around the world, around the state, even in Fulham Gardens. We appreciate you joining us wherever you may be, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. So on behalf of everybody, I'm Eric Balnar saying good night.